So we're going to start on section 912, creating a date object. So we've been playing with date and time information in a variable. You will create a variable named current day that stores a date object. You can use the May 23, 2018 as the initial date at 2:35 p.m. as the current initial time. Later in this tutorial, we'll set the value of the current date variable to the current date and time. For now, use a preset date and time lets you check that any calculations are based on the date and time are correct. So we're in the TinyScript JavaScript file. And I'm in VS Code. I just have it split so I can see both files. Scroll up and just see both files a little bit easier. And have a split screen so I can see my tab screen as well. So we're in the TinyScript JavaScript file in the editor, and directly below the closing comment line near the top of the file, insert that. Oh, maybe I already did that. Okay, sorry, I started one video earlier and my Wi-Fi just went kapooey. So let me go ahead and erase that. Okay, so go ahead and erase that too. Store the current date and time. So we're declaring a variable by using the word var. Current day equals new date, May 23, 2018, 14, 35, 05. Okay, now remember, because we have quotes on here, it's considered a string. So anything that changes on here, just be aware it's a string right now, okay? So we're going to highlight the newly, so we did that. Okay, going on. So applying date methods. JavaScript dates are stored as numeric values to equal the number of milliseconds between the specific date of January 1, 1970 and midnight. For example, a date object of May 23, 2018 at 2:35:05 p.m. has a hidden equal value of that many milliseconds. So fortunately, we don't have to directly work with that value. Figure 920, figure some of the JavaScript methods used to extract from a date object. Now, I don't know why, but I know some people, including myself, have been having troubles getting their images to download or to appear. If you're having those issues, you can right-click. Okay, maybe this isn't one of them. There are some where some of the images aren't appearing. You can right-click and then display image in a separate tab or something like that. But evidently, this isn't one of them. So, okay, moving on. Methods of the date object. So for the variable, this day equals new date, and we got that in there. So it talks about the methods of getting the particular information. So this day gets seconds, minutes, hours, so on and so forth. Vector wants to display the date and time on separate lines in the page header. To accomplish this, you create two new variables. The following date string will store the text string of the date portion of the date object, and the time string variable will store the text string of the time portion. So in this example, he's declaring a variable by using var and naming one variable date string and the other variable time string. Remember, a variable name can be anything you want it to be, providing it follows the naming protocols. And it can be anything you want it to be, but name something relevant for what you're doing, which is what he's doing here. It's a date string, and it's doing it to collect the date string and time string for the time string. So both the local date string and local time string methods return text strings based on local conventions for rendering dates and times. So in the United States, the date string and time string variables will be stored as that and that. Other countries may have different versions of it, so just be aware. The date string and time string variables can be used with the inner HTML property for the date now developments to change the code inserted into the page element. So we have a document, get element by ID, update now, which remember, if we're in our HTML, it's right here on line 43. Our line is 43. Okay, we're going to be looking for that ID, update now. But the inner HTML is going to be the date string, which is the variable we declare up here. We're declaring up here. And we're doing a break and a time string. This is the variable we're going to be declaring up there. It says the plus symbol is used using this command to combine two or more text strings in a single text string. So in this command, if the date string stores the text 5/23/18 and time string as 2:35 p.m., the text string 5/28 with the break, line break, and 2:35 p.m. will be added to the inner HTML of the date element. So here's other ways that you can use the date methods. W3 Schools has a good resource on that. You can just type in date methods. And it has another, like I said, it's a good resource too, whenever you're trying to do something. So date is an object. To retrieve the date as a text string, using local conventions, apply this method. Date to local date string. To retrieve the method as a time string, we'll use this method, date to local time string. I'll pause this for a second. Okay, I'm back. We're going to look at some stuff on this W3 Schools, like I pointed out earlier. We're going to play with a few different things just to reinforce what I'm talking about. So for those who've already, looked at W3 Schools as a resource, you know that it gives fairly easy to understand descriptions, and then it also has a place where you can try it yourself to just further cement the concept in your mind. So you can do, here's the methods, get full year, to get the year as a 4-digit number, get month, get date, so on and so forth, right? Okay, so let's go here to the get time method. And it talks about in here the internal clock in JavaScript counts from midnight, January 1, 1970. The get time function returns the number of milliseconds since then. So whenever you're doing this, if you're trying this is going to be different, because whenever you're doing it, you can see it's already changed because milliseconds run fairly quick, and so that's constantly being updated every millisecond. So some of the other ones that we can do is let's get full year. Click run, and it comes up 2019. And if you look on here, the description is it gets the year as a 4-digit number. But if you do just get year, it's 119, which if you do the math, 2019, which is this current year, minus 1970 equals 119 years. So, hold on. Okay, I'm back. So this threw me off, because when I started saying it out loud, I knew I wasn't right. So I paused it and Googled it. So basically get year is deprecated. What you should be doing is, because 2019 minus 1970 is not 119 years. It's not been 119 years since 1970 happened. So what you should be using is full year. Okay. So 2019, that's correct. And this is what I found out when I paused it to do a little research. It's like, what happened here? What am I not getting? When you look for get year, I'm in W3 schools. It says it's deprecated. So to use the get full year method instead. And I did a little bit more research, just, looking up the get year method, trying to anyways. So this says get year method returns the year and the specified date according to universal time. It's no longer used and replaced by the, okay, I've done it. Let's open that up. JavaScript I returns the year and the specified date according to universal. The get year is no longer used and replaced by the get. That's not correct, but the value of returned by get year is the current year minus 1900. So that's how they come up with 119. Okay, it's been replaced by get full year, so that's a typo in that. But yeah, that's a typo in that. But the reason for it showed 119 is because it was 2019 minus 1900. There we go. Okay. So got lost in the weeds there a little bit, and let's look at some of the other examples. Let's go back to here. So we can do a get month. It's 8. Now the reason it's month 8, and even this is September, which is month 9, is because in binary, which is computer code, computer language, sorry, everything starts at number 0. Okay, so that means when you talk about the first entity or the first instance of something, the first one equals number 0. Second equals number 1. Third equals number 2. 4 equals number 3. Fifth equals number 4. Sixth equals number 5. Seventh equals number 6. Want to keep going to the end of the month, end of the year. Eighth equals number 7. Ninth equals number 8. 10th equals number 9. 11th equals number 10. 12th equals number 11. So when we're talking about the months of the year, for example, the first month equals 0, and it's January. February. March. April. May. June. July. August. September. October. November. December. Okay. So the first month is January, and it's it's a number 0. So September is number 8. even though it's the 9th month. So just going off of this example, well, based off of this, there will never be a number 12 for months of the year. Now, if they're talking about months for the year or months over a 2-year period of time, and they're incrementing by that, by months, then they'll get to month 13 because they're going to start over with January again. Or they'll get to number 12 because they'll be starting with January again. So just keep that in mind. That's why that's number 8. Let's see, what are the examples were. I'll get rid of that tab. So get hours. Nine, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. Minutes, spell minutes. 37, it's 9:37 in the morning. Seconds, it's 32 seconds. Click on it again, 35 seconds, so 3 seconds have passed. 3 more seconds, so on so forth. Get time. I think that was the first one, that was the default on here. And this talks about how many milliseconds since that January 1, 1970. So you get the idea. Let's see. So the demo, so let's kind of go over this line by line. So we have our doc type, HTML body. Notice they didn't put a head on here. Whatever, they're just doing this for demo purposes. So we have H2, JavaScript time. It's one of the heading sizes. P, they have the internal clock. They have it as a paragraph. The second P, it's like they have the get time function, returns number of milliseconds. And you'll notice that on this particular line, there's no content in between the little carrots there, right? But what this is the demo. So whenever we get to the JavaScript section, which is right here, okay, they're declaring a variable named D, and they're looking for a new date. And they're looking at the document, which is this document right here. Get element by ID. It's an ID that we're doing, demo. We're changing the entered HTML, so this is the content that changes, based off whatever we put here. Get year, get an hour, get whatever. That's the content that changes, and it's so it automatically puts it like in this little spot that we don't have any content because it's just looking for where the demo was. So what if and you notice it has the D here, all right? Because that is the variable name. We can name that whatever. We can name that time, and if I run it now, it's not going to work because I have to change this as well. Okay, because that corresponds with this. I'll go ahead and change that back to what it was. Okay, we're saying that we're getting by ID. Okay, but what if we change that to a class for some reason? We're going to say it's a class of demo instead of ID of demo. If I hit run, it should not work, and it doesn't. But if I change this by class, it still doesn't work. I'll show you why. Because ID is only singular, and everything else is multiples. You have the options for multiples. So you have to put the S for get elements. They don't have the S for ID because there can only be one ID, but there can be multiple classes. So hit run. Let me go out of it. Run. Why is it not working? Hold on. Okay, for the life of me, I can't figure out what I'm doing wrong here, why the class isn't working. But I copied it and pasted it, and I don't see any syntax errors, but I'm just going to move on because it's been a few minutes trying to figure this out and just see if something comes to me after I stop looking after it. Well, after I stop looking at it for a while. Okay, so just going to move on. But the idea I was trying to get across was the fact that, get rid of this because I don't know why that's not working. You know, you can, how you can edit the years, the dates, the date function, JavaScript. Okay. So displaying the dates and the times. So we're supposed to be doing that in here. So after in JavaScript, so in the line declaring the current day variable, which is right here, we're going to insert var date string current day dot to local date string var time string equals current day dot to local time string. Okay. We're going to change the line that displays the current date and time to that. So that would be, I'll make it almighty day now. Sorry. Okay. That's this right here. Date now in our HTML. So we're going to change it. Instead, we right now we have a string of month, day, year with a break in HMS, right? But we're going to change that to be updated based off these new variables we just declared. So let's select that right there. And it's a variable, so it does not require a string or quotes, because quotes indicate a string. So date string plus quotes break, because we want on separate lines, plus time string, and semicolon, which I already have in there. Okay. So save that. So if I pull up this page, oh yeah, it was. It should see the 5/23/2018 at 2:35 p.m. because that's what's in here. So we have a date string we're declaring based off this right here of the date of May 23, 2018. So let's see if we would change this to 2019, what's today, September. Save that and refresh. I think I messed up on the year, but it changed it. Save it and refresh. Yep. So whenever you do the date string, it's looking at the current day, and that current day has the date of September, whatever. I changed it to September. But it has that time, that date. So this is based off 24-hour military time. So it's currently 0958. I don't know how many seconds, 24 or 34. Save, and you'll notice that I went from PM to AM. Just so you can see that again. Okay. So it's 2:35 p.m. because it's military time, 14:35, which is in the afternoon. And if I change this to back to 9:58, which is in the morning, it changes it to AM. Okay. Okay. Let's change this to what it should be, which was hit Control Z to undo everything I've done. That should be it. Okay. So the Tulsa Bash is a strictly local event, thus you can write the dates and times using local formats. However, America's date and time conventions are not shared across the globe, so just be careful with that. Expect your dates and times to be read on an international audience. Need to ensure that your text corresponds to local standards, so that's something to be aware of. So you can, with JavaScript, you can write dates and times in the user's own local format method. So the date to a text string, displaying the date and time formatting based on the conventions employed by the user's computer. So a date and time such as October 3rd, 2018 at 2:45 p.m. will be displayed as that there. From a computer located in the United States, and as that from a computer located in France. Okay. So note the exact appearance of the string generated by the local string method depends on the date time settings of the computer, the settings of the browser. So just be aware if you're starting to do something that's going to hit the global market, just be aware to make sure that those strings are reflective of that. I don't really have a way to test that because I'm not globally somewhere else. But just be aware of that. So setting dates and time values. JavaScript also supports methods to change the date store within a date object. So changing dates is most often used in programs that involve setting the value of a future date or time, such as an expiration date for an online membership or online calendar. So JavaScript methods to set values of the date object is date dot set date the value, date set full year, date set hours. So the set date sets the date of the month of the date, sets the date of the month of date where value is integer. Okay. For example, we have this date with a variable named this date equals new date. We have a year, a particular day. So this date, which is again this variable, set full year to 2018. So let's play with it. Did I miss something? In the next session, we'll be doing full year. Okay. We played with that a little bit in this section, but we'll be doing it more in the next section, evidently. Okay. So that's pretty much it for this session. Stop it.